Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Tryhard Tuesdays where we learn to try a little bit harder. I am your host, the Grand Wazoo, here with my typical co-host, Mr. Blue. How's it going, Mr.?
Hello everyone. It's good. Good. Pubs are pubs, you know. The
Pub
items
life.
have changed, the heroes have changed, but the pub life remains the same.
Yep, and we're also joined by some guy, Roland.
Yeah, no, there was a thread about me on Reddit the other day about how I fucked up cameras or something for BTS.
From across the states, you managed to fuck up the cameras.
Apparently I went to LA and I just fucked up a bunch of cameras at Beyond the Summit, so yeah, I'm that guy. That's
Something else.
Different guy, turns out.
Yeah, and I wish I would. I've had this name for like 5 years. I want to ask him and be like, yo, dude, like, how long you been going by this moniker, huh? And like, hear what he says.
Probably longer than you. He probably read The Dark Tower
And
in the 80s or something.
Yeah,
It was
probably.
like, Roland, what a name.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, I got to read that, and I was like, what about me? And then it was like, no, dude, you're not famous, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, hey, what's up, everybody? They're having me back on again, because we're going to talk some, 686? We've all played a lot of Dota.
Yeah, you were on the last show, so now it's kind of a thing.
I made it tradition. You know why I was on you guys' last show? Or that one show that I was on?
I don't know.
Not last week, but that.
We couldn't.
It was because I climbed really high with Storm Spirit in 6.84.
That's right. We wanted to make you a case study, and then of course we're like, so what are kind of the good habits you had? You're like, fuck that, I just picked these guys. One.
Yeah, and I was like, just ate some fucking chicken fingers on top of my car, had a clearing stick, and just played Storm Spirit. Like,
you're like, wow, what kind of lessons could we learn from this? Wow, he's climbed so high.
There are times that you have to look at your Dota career or lack thereof and realize that you're never going to be very good, so you do have to just enjoy the game. I feel like you bring that to the show, so it's good to have you back.
I do just enjoy the game, for sure.
He's kind of like if we had, video output, white letters would flash that just said, do not do this at home, with everything Roland said, and it would just be
I could add that to the stream where I could press like spacebar and it would be like, do not do this at home.
Get Scotty first. Don't get any items before Scotty.
Yeah.
No boots. Fuck it.
Guess Nature's Prophet, I have like 80 games and I have a 44% win rate with Nature's Prophet. And he's my most losing hero. I've lost more times with Nature's Prophet than any other hero.
Your losingest, huh?
My losingest, yes.
Interesting.
You know what? Because of the bootslessness.
If you would ask me what your losingest hero was, I would guess Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
I would have thought Alchemist or something.
No, Alchemist is my worst. I'm like a 19% with Alchemist over like 25 games.
But you cut your losses after a certain point.
Yeah, like, so I kept randoming him, and me and Denny would be like, fuck, okay, get ready to get bottom room. And it'd be like, my problem with Alchemist wasn't the farming. My problem with Alchemist was the actual execution. I can't fight with him, and it turned to feeding. Like, there are plenty of heroes I realized I can farm well with, but I can't play still. Like, I can't use their skills effectively to make me have a winning outcome.
Perhaps spoilers ahead for the latter segment of the show, but before we get into the Rollin' Pubs part 2, you can listen to that on the Monday show. That's for sure. That was enlightening, to say the least. Your Arc Warden experience, and I'm sure we'll get into that later on.
That sounds traumatizing.
Yeah.
I'm going to one of these days soon, and maybe I'll do it for like a milestone goal, is play 12 hours of all of Arc Warden, like how Arteezy was doing with all of the things Ember Spirit says, just playing loud in his headset while he plays Ember Spirit every single game to get good with it.
That's like a Clockwork Orange, dude.
Yeah, he's going to develop an imaginary friend that he thinks is his Tempest double.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
force myself. And that's our Arc Warden.
Some Donnie Darko shit.
And Fafnir made some good points as far as, like, I was giving GPMs and XPMs on the Monday show. I hate to say, I'm just going to, 1 second. And that doesn't mean you won or lose. That doesn't mean you're doing good or bad. Yeah, I could farm with Arc Warden, but was I putting my shield down in the right place to get 100% evasion? Was I putting spirits in the right places? Was I fluxing the right people? Was I feeding my necro units? Maybe.
He's an interesting hero, and I do want to get into some of the things we've seen, because last show we talked about how our patch predictions were wrong and right, And in this show, we're going to make patch predictions kind of look at what we've seen in the pub sphere. And if you've been playing a lot of that new hero, then we should definitely talk about that in the later half. And if you want to share, you should. But right now, I want to talk about kind of like the revitalization of Dota. And I feel like that's kind of been really big towards the theme and the meta of how I play in a way, is that the game has somehow managed to like hook me again with this new patch.
Well, that's the point. The Dota Force has awakened, dude.
Yeah, dude. It really has. It's good timing.
It feels good. I mean, just the second I popped into 6.86 and played a game, and Blue, I'm sure you felt this way too. Mm-hmm. It was like a magical experience again, where there's this Iron Talon thing that I can do 40% of current health to, and then there's this, oh my god, and like it was overwhelming, but like kid in a candy store feeling at the same time.
Yes, I was just about to make the Willy Wonka, like walking into the chocolate factory for the first time. If you want to view paradise, and then all of a sudden you're like looking at all these cool new items, like, oh, Aether Lens, wow, supports aren't that shitty anymore. This is so fun. And you're like kicking balls down these weird corridors that never existed, hiding in tree spots, and playing little peekaboo with each other. Like, whoa, I didn't even know I could plant a tree here. It's a happy little tree. Holy shit! They've gone full meme at Valve.
Yeah,
it's just so funny.
It's
like
really
all the crazy wackadoodle changes they made, and some I love and some I am like totally confused by. But I think overall it's a really cool and interesting take on the whole game itself has changed. So.
It is. I want to say one thing about Happy Little Trees. Okay, I saw a timber saw put a happy little tree down and then timber chain to it to kill somebody.
Yep.
Those
kind of mini gifs have been all over Reddit since it happened, like with Wind Ranger 2 in a shackle. But it's interesting.
Or hiding yourself in the tree, just like blocking them out.
Or blocking green mines on techies.
I'm fine with it because it gives Ironwood branches more value outside of just being that +1 stats gain. And
before you'd see him on the ground, you literally would see an iron branch on the ground.
Well, this just lets you do that in a different way.
In a different cool way.
Like, it gives it a kind of a physical representation, which is cool. If you can, like, hurry and block off a tree path behind you with an iron branch and stuff, like, that opens up the skill ceiling to running away. And that's what I want the body of the show to be about, is how they seem to kind of remove those limiters. Like, it's all skill now, it feels like, towards the end of the game. They've let you uncap kind of how much attack speed you have with the Moon Shard. They are now letting you uncap spell distance. They're now you're uncapped in a lot of ways. And it seems like the heroes that are already flourishing are those that could have wide range of applicability and different builds and such. So I don't know. Are you guys noticing that at all? What changes strategically have you seen just in the past week?
Strategically?
Yeah, take it away, Roland. I'll follow up.
It feels like there has been a complete lack there of strategy. It's been
Arc Warden life.
It's been Arc Warden's on your team, Arc Warden's on the other team. And I have some stats with me. Arc Warden is the 6th most played hero. So, I mean, not terrible, but you do see him often. Like, do you see Pudge very often? Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you see Wind Ranger? Yeah. Do you see Shadow Fiend? Yeah. Do you see Invoker? Yeah. Do you see Zeus? Yeah. And then, or Arc Warden every fucking game. And it's always a mix of emotions. Of course, I look at it whenever the enemy team picks up an Arc Warden in that, okay, they have a 37.5% chance that they're going to win then. So I'm looking at like 62.5% that I'm going to win this game right off the bat. Because he's really hard to play. Every fucking game, it's lame. Also, Alchemist, people still holding on to Alchemist. Wish they'd just let him go. They'd let him drown in the Titanic. You know what I mean?
I love him. He can't drown, man. Have you seen that Chemical Rage? Like,
I don't like him.
You could drown him. He'd just come right back to life in that purple ass body of his.
I don't think there's much strategy on Alchemist at my level. As I think it's just, I need to get a Radiance. That's kind of like how the Spectres are.
It depends on how you play them. I don't play them that way, man.
I know.
Like, I'll even go Aura builds at times and skip Radiance, but I'll get, like, I don't know, Manta and Drums and, like, Sanjin or something like that, like those mixed up.
Well, Vlad's an AC is a pretty sweet. Like, yeah. Anytime
and then
you're
you get the AC and a Vlad's or something, and you're just crazy good.
Yeah. Like, armor and raw HP are his best friends.
Yeah.
They really are.
I feel like this Octarine
or effective
build,
HP. That's why people build
Octarine build has ruined Alchemist.
Well, yeah.
It's like the douchebag that sits in the college quad playing guitar, and you're just like, it ruins guitar a little bit for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's Alchemist with an Octarine and, like, losing with those builds and having high GPM. It's just like, they know how to farm the items, but they can't engage with the hero, so it's like wasted gold.
And that's exactly like why I have like a 19% win rate with Alchemist is like, okay, Denny, I have my Radiance, and I have my Octarine Core, and I have my Manta. And he's like, dude, we've lost all our racks. The game's over. It's
that's
like
what happens.
And it's
You need to be getting item timings like at 25 minutes, even before you need to be hitting good item timings.
Dude, some guy that build probably came about when some guy was like, you know what'd be fucking good this game? I keep getting silenced by that goddamn silencer. I'm going to get a Manta to purge that bullshit. I'm so sick of that happening to me. Yeah. You know what? Fuck this cooldown. He's doing it all the time. I'm going to get an Octarine Core. I already have this Radiance. And then people saw that and were like, oh my god. And it went everywhere from like in 9K to 0 MMR.
The hero's actually in a good place as a fighting hero.
I gotta slow your guys' roll on Alchemist because I myself am a proponent of the Radiance build like 70% of the time, and I'll tell you why. It is because it's ease of execution.
Yeah.
When you get the Radiance going and you get your Boots of Travel, you get your Manta style, it's very simple. You don't fight, you farm, you play very passive. You get your 6th slot before everyone else gets their 6th slot. Then you can push. Then you 5-man. And the Octarine, of course, synergizes with the Manta style cooldown. The Radiance plus the Octarine is obscene. Like you can't, if you don't have an AA on your team, there's just no hope of killing him unless it's a 5v1 scenario. In which case, where the hell is the rest of your team because he's 6 slotted at that point. But yeah, I think the Radiance build is still the build to go if you're in your pubs and it's uncoordinated. I just think that people get Radiance. I think this is the issue I see a lot. Is people get Radiance and they think they're fucking invincible when they get Radiance. And that's not how it works.
No, it's not a tank. What is it, 17% evasion? Or mischance?
17% mischance and 65 damage and 50 burn damage a second.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a fighting item. It's an item that is the equivalent of what an anti-mage gets when he gets Battle Fury.
Yeah, it's a farming item.
It's time to farm harder.
You get kills with it though. Like sometimes anti-mage may get a cleave kill, and sometimes you may get a burn kill. But that's not the point.
It's incidental.
Yeah, incidental.
It's not by design. Mm-hmm. Once you hit Manta style Assault Cures, then it's time to start farming some heroes after farming creeps for the first 30 minutes or whatever. But it's funny because you guys are like bitching about the same thing that when I started Dota, I was bitching about with Naga Siren.
Yeah.
When she was really popular. TI3, she was a super popular, both as a support or as a core, and so you'd see people just agonizing over their pubs because guys would go for like a 35-minute Radiance on Naga, and you're just like, great, you have Radiance. They don't care. They murder your illusions now because they have all their skills maxed out. They don't give a shit about you. So it's all about the timing, and it's all about it's just typical pubs shit. So So Radiance is just one of those that sticks out like a sore thumb because you're like, wait, I've been buying time for this fucking guy, and he has 2 items in his inventory, Radiance and Boots of Travel at 35 minutes. What is going on in my life?
There's a certain time where you have to look at it and be like, okay, I have 3,600 gold, but it's way past the time where Radiance would be even that good. Okay, and then you need to switch.
Yeah, dude. I
think people dedicate way too much to build.
Same with Spectres, though. God damn you fucking Spectres. Those are the people that get to me more than the Alchemists that try and go Radiance. It's because there's a Spectre that's like, he's dying all the time, but you're not super paying attention because it's just like, okay, I'm in a solo pub. Like, I just need to focus on me doing well. That guy's really dying a lot. And you click on him and he has like 1,800 gold and it's 24 minutes in. And he has like, maybe
a Quelling Blade and some boots.
Quelling Blade, brown boots, and like three salves. And you're like, oh my god, like he's buying salves. Like, really? And it's like, okay, here we go. And then you're like, hey dude, just buy like a Vanguard, or buy like a Treads even. Get Treads, you know what I mean? Like get Aquila and Treads, like that'll help a ton. And it's just I hate that, even though like it's if you can get an 18-minute Radiance on Spectre, that's badass, and you're gonna do really well when you haunt, and it's gonna be fun. And that's a problem of mine, personally, is that I try and, like, jump and hit the moon, but really I just jump and hit the ceiling and hurt my head, you know what I mean?
Sometimes a mid-game item helps you a lot more in that moment than a late-game item
get it
that you'll
faster.
never achieve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Aquila...
And so people get stuck on these huge, high price tag items.
Absolutely.
And their plan gets faltered a little bit, and just by faltering, like, having them falter a little bit in their plan, you now have fucked up their entire game, because they're just fixated on that radiance.
Yeah.
But I feel like what's really good about this patch is the heroes that can adapt with wider item builds. I feel like by removing these delimiters and all these different things, and with how the map's set up, and just the farming potential, it's really going to come out to a more broad and fair game, and that's why I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, that and it's actually a good transition to talk about the items and what items you guys have been using out of the 4 new ones. You know, the Fairy Fire, which gives you the +2 damage, and consumable at +75. Dragon Lance, which is 1900 gold. That's just the quarterstaff and the Ogre Club, which can be disassembled.
Yeah.
1870. Oh yeah, that's right. They reduced the quarterstaff
is
cost.
875. Yeah. But the fact that it can be disassembled, the way that item becomes almost useless if you make it not disassemblable. So I hope it stays that way.
Sure. I'm pretty sure it will, because it is like it's another one of those kind of stepping stone items for you if you're either behind or you want, you just need some extra attack range. It's really nice. So before we get, too deep into this, Aether Lens, if you haven't, listened to the casts from last week's show, they go over all these stuff in greater detail and who this might synergize really well on and stuff like that. Basically, Aether Lens plus 200 cast range. It builds out from the energy booster, the cloak,
and a ring of health.
And a ring of health, which is those are such
cool. I can't believe that makes it, though. You know, it's bullshit. Like,
too good.
It makes Ogre, Mage, Jungle possible with that ring of health. Just if you're going for your normal items, Mana Boots and, Aether Lens now. That's like, Ogre, why do you have a ring of health? Because I want insane regen and to get an Aether Lens, bro.
39 regen now.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I have to go to the fountain to take a piss. Like, that's the only reason. Like, Ogre has become insane because of the components for Aether Lens. Also, it's so cool that, like, you basically have 2 options with Aether Lens as far as, like, your first item you get, in my opinion. You can, well, I guess you have 3. You can build your Mana Boots and hold on to Mana Boots for a while, which is always cool. I've always been a fan of disassembling Mana Boots because it's mana for a time, and then you get Aether Lens. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But then there's, I always ask myself, do they do a bunch of magic damage? And it's like, yeah, they do a bunch of magic damage. Cloak. Buy it, and I buy my cloak first. Do I need more regen? Or do they do more magic damage? Oh, no, I have plenty of regen. I need the magic resistance. Cloak
I would like that to be
badass.
One of my predictions, and I'm sure it's on everyone else's mind, that Ogre Magi is going to be a fucking sick hero throughout this patch.
Ogre...
Yep.
If he's not changed as much, because he's literally just like a rock.
He's really, really, really tanky. He still has issues. I don't think he's going to be a rock star. I don't think he's...
But for that 5 position, he provides variability that he's interesting to watch.
I think you'll see him in a
pretty good
3 position.
Yeah.
I think you may see an Ogre... 4. No, maybe even a 3.
4.
I guess we're diving into it now. So let's talk about... I'll jump in on Ogre, too, because I've been a big fan of Ogre.
I played 6
ever
games
since
of him in 6
our 82L days, just going up against these Ogres.
Our 82L
games. So incredibly
what do you think?
Remember when Cyphus picked Ogre?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about that. What do you think, Blue? What do you think about Ogre?
Aether Lens on him is just one of the more obvious choices, and
built for
you guys already pointed out. I mean, the one problem this guy has is his cast ranges is obscenely bad, and so Aether Lens immediately remedies that, gives him the mana pool he needs. He's already tanky as it is, and the fact that you add a ring of health on top of that and a cloak, it's just like there's no reason not to get that item. Like, first item after you get Mana Boots, you get that, and you could even go back for Mana Boots, or you could go Tranquil Soul Ring and have incredible sustain. But before we skip it, Iron Talon, which to me, it's actually my favorite item out of the 4. I mean, Aether Lens is a fantastic item, and I just think that's just going to get nerfed to the ground. But we'll talk about that later, because we have a whole prediction section that we'll get to. Dragon Lance is a cool, interesting, unique item. Fairy Fire, I'm like, whatever. it ain't no enchanted mango. I'll give you the. I'll tell you that much.
It's like a damage mango.
Yeah, it's like a little baby damage mango. It's like if you have extra 75 gold, buy it, whatever. But Iron Talon, I love this item. I think this item opens up opportunities for so many heroes that could not jungle or were not viable to jungle quickly. All of a sudden, I think they can. So, heroes like Bloodseeker, who just got nerfed into the ground in 6.85, I feel like he could...
He's a jungler. He is.
He can be a decent jungler now with an Iron Talon. Obviously, Legion Commander, who's already been popular in our jungle for better or worse in 6.5, is going to be even more so in 6.6.
Makes it faster.
We talk about all these other heroes, like even heroes that just normally have a hard time farming quickly, and it's an item that just provides a little bit of armor and gives you some value out of that Quelling Blade. So even like a Night Stalker could make use of it.
I think a Juggernaut with the right
Juggernaut. If you don't want to go Battle Fury, it's still a really good item to get. You're right. There's just a lot of. I feel like this is a really good off lane item too for a lot of those tankier, strength-based cores who still want to be able to farm that side camp near the ancient stack or near the ancients. So it's such an interesting item, and I thought I'd bring it up because
it should be talked about. So here's what I've noticed also, Blue, is everybody knows this feeling. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's a creep that maybe is only being attacked by the ranged creep, or its health is slowly going down, and you know that you're outside of its limit, but it's still low. You know that if you were to hit it, you just fuck it up and you wouldn't get the last hit. That's when I love using the Talon. Is when it's like, okay, it's at like maybe an eighth of its health, but I need it to be at a 16th of its health in order to guarantee that last hit. Using that Iron Talon and making sure you get that last hit. That's especially for the offlane, because the offlane, especially if it's a hard offlane, last hits come few and far between. And if you can just run in, dive a creep, and dive it, hit it with that thing, and then right click it, I think it can help last hitting.
It's like the working man's Midas, how I see it.
Yeah, it is the working man's Midas.
The blue-collar Battle Fury.
Yeah, exactly. It's like for the working class, it's like now you can drive one too, but it's a lot cheaper. It's a good item. I love the variability it adds to the jungle. I feel like it gives you some reason to be in the jungle more, like it's some more incentive, I guess is the right word, from a game design perspective. And that makes it endlessly awesome to me.
I could see a PA jungle now too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities. That's another one of those delimiters being removed that I talked about earlier, and they've opened up like the roof on the jungle now with that item, where you could farm it efficiently with people that couldn't do it before, and just from having that, you can now efficiently do it.
Well,
that's a good point. That's a
very
good point.
Interesting.
Like, because you're talking about Quelling Blade, which everyone has associated Quelling Blade with hard farming core melee hero,
right?
And that's it.
Yeah.
And some items have just had an association with a specific brand of hero. So the fact that you have an item that's kind of a tweener, where if you're an offlane, you could get it. If you're a core, it's still a decent pickup. It's just nice because it adds to the draw for Dota, which is that what's like the famous no-tail line. It's like anything can work.
Yeah.
It's so magical.
Makes you love Dota.
It really is magical. I think I'll make a prediction right here that there will be, God, it sounds like Nostradamus, but there will be jungle heroes that we never thought would jungle, and we're already starting to see that with this Iron Talon.
Apocalypse, dude.
Like, there will be heroes that are spending a large amount of time in the jungle that we're like, what the fuck? And like, just wait until the pros get their hands onto it. Like, also, I feel like with Iron Talon,
more is viable.
That game was made for this. This was like a support-oriented patch, if you kind of think about it.
Yep.
That made supports that much stronger as well as the Iron Talon.
While also having extra farm, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The jungle now too, with how it's set up, how you can just zoop. Now you see me, now you don't. Like, how those paths are set up on the ridge. Like,
improved jukeability is what it said.
That's what the patch notes said. And I would like to say, like, here and now, they did deliver on that.
They delivered on improved jukeability.
It's super jukeable now.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I think they're just trying to give supports a way out that, like, they can't just ward one spot and, like, see you. And
make it fun. Make it fun to be a support. I played Ogre, like, 5 times in a row, where I was just like, hey guys, I'll buy all the support items. Don't worry about it. It's me. I'm Ogre. I'm having a blast. How you doing? You want a cup of coffee? Yeah, here you go. Like, it was fun for me to play this Ogre this way. And I mean, it's just been crazy, and roaming has been a lot of rotations. I've seen a lot more rotations because finally we have motivation to rotate, right?
Yep.
Whereas before, if you were on Radiant, going to the offlane sucked, man. Like, I don't want to go to the offlane. Guess what? Now I can go hit a hard camp and go to the offlane. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I have a selfish reason and a selfless reason.
That camp there was needed
to travel.
And now that it's there, it's like the Roshan change. It's like when it's right, you feel it, and you're just like, all right, this is how it always was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it just feels like it becomes part of the game.
Or if you're ganking, it can be the designated lane tax. Like, well, I ganked. Instead of like farming their creep wave and making them watch, like, yeah, this is mine. You know, like, instead you could go to the hard camp.
And the hard camp, yeah.
Be like, that's the lane tax. Let's all share. Let's share the wealth.
It's also just this limiter. More gold to be used means that there's going to be more to go around, you know, and hopefully this supports. It feels like they're trying to create a shorter game somehow.
Well, if you have 3 solo lanes, it's going to be a shorter game.
Yeah.
If you have 3 solo lanes versus 3 solo lanes and 2 guys walking around supporting, okay, roaming around supporting, that is going to, of course, accelerate the game because it's going to make more powerful people faster.
I got to be honest, like, I don't think an Arcane Runes helped me. I've gotten a few, but it's just kind of like, it's like Pac-Man with me. I just pick it up and eat it. And
get it on Ogre Mage, get it on Shadow Fiend.
Your
cooldowns are reduced. Lina, your mana costs are reduced. I think they just took it from 50 to 40% or 40 to 50. I can't remember if they buffed it or debuffed it.
No, they definitely nerfed it a little bit because it was ridiculously good.
Yeah. You don't notice it on heroes that like you're not casting spells on, but like Shadow Fiend, I noticed it huge. Shadow Fiend mid, my raises are just like kabam bam, oh my god, kabam bam bam, oh my god, kabam bam bam, and it's just like it's like, and they're costing like 36 a raise or something like that, opposed to 75, or now they're probably more like 41 or 42.
It's a game changer, no doubt, because if you get any kind of nuker mid and you get it at like the 4-minute mark, it's like the haste rune in that that's a free kill if you play it right, you know.
Yeah. It's like a spell haste.
Yeah, if you get a Queen of Pain, a Lina, a Storm, any of those heroes that have a number of abilities that you can spam out very quickly in rapid succession to nuke people down, it's a game changer, no doubt about it. So I like the addition of the orb because this was like the spellcaster, you know, circus show is 6.86 to me. Is like everything is so new and incredible and dazzling and all this crazy shit flying around. You're like, how? Oh wait, he couldn't do that before. All of a sudden, Sand King is burrow striking across the map.
Oh, like, it's so good, dude. And
so much.
And that was going to be one of my big talking points. This game is there is going to be a resurgence of Sand King, and I think in the offlane. I'm
going to add to that and say yes with Tide too. I think Tide's coming back.
Tide Hunter, just because that game we just saw with S4 going mid. Tide Hunter,
back, dude.
Tide. What is Tide's? I haven't seen new Tide's new Aghanims. I think it's one of those. I put it in my junk drawer of Aghanims of like, yeah, that's a cheesy Aghanims, and then like the Tusk Walrus punches or Walrus kick is in there.
I think you're gonna see more of an emphasis on team fight, and that's why I say Tide.
Yeah,
and Sand King. Those team fight ults.
It's Sand King. It's pretty insane to see. It's almost like I don't know if you get Blink Dagger anymore. Like that's what I'm thinking. I wonder if
Sand King.
I wonder if you just go straight Ags, because if you Ags is a Blink Dagger now, dude.
That's literally, this is, you know what, Roland, I'm gonna tell you, you're doing it right now. You're taking an item that is 2250 and then you're comparing it to the value of an item that's 4200.
But I'm saying it has a double value. You know what I mean? It gives your burrow strike that much further, and it's a great initiation.
Okay, those letters that we told you about earlier, do not try this at home, that's flashing on the screen.
There it is.
I could charge my ult, and I can burrow strike from out of their vision, dude. Their vision.
You absolutely can do that.
But how do you get out?
Or you could get a blink, and from farther away...
I'm just saying, maybe there's like some sort of like value there, inherent value.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm
not going to tell you no, I'm not going to tell you yes.
You never escape without using mana. Yeah, I've heard that's a good thing.
I'm going to make sure to call you the second I see like any
Blink
pro
is good on him, though.
Miss Blink and get Ags first and then use it as an initiation.
I didn't say no one's ever going to do that. I'm just saying...
Sand King definitely needs a blink because it's great to blink and burrow strike. It's great to blink and sandstorm. It's great to blink and do any of his abilities.
Sure.
So Blink Dagger is definitely core. I'm just saying, like, what if like maybe it's Axe first now? Maybe you farm the jungle and you stay there a little longer.
I feel
you're
like,
to hear first, folks.
Like,
the farm is too good. Everyone, the farm is too good.
We talk about up and coming builds. So.
Probably not. And yeah, no, Blink Dagger. Still getting a Blink Dagger like 7 or 8 minutes on Sand King makes you get the gold to get Ags. That's once again those like tiny steps that we were talking about. Like the whole reason you can get that Blink Dagger so quickly on Sand King is because I'm assuming you've been stacking camps in the jungle. You get your Sandstorm level 2, and you go take those stacks, and you buy your Blink Dagger. And then Blink Dagger gives you gank money and assist gold to get your Ags.
I don't disagree on that. I don't think anyone will disagree. Well, if they do, I think they're crazy. Is that Aghanims is a core item on him? It's just when would you get it? Would you get it after second Blink? Item, third item, fourth item? Because I think there's still some things that really he can.
It depends. You could be the Veil Carrier. Yeah. You could be the Veil Carrier. So if like you have a Zeus on your team, which that's another hero that I predict will be.
I'd agree.
Yeah, he's already showing the trends. I mean, he's a 56% win rate. He is the 5th most picked hero right now, and it's Aether Lens.
It's the Arcana effect too.
Sure.
I'm calling it Aether Lens. I've played him a couple of times.
And I think it's the fact that he has an Arcana. I mean, do you remember?
Why would his win rate go up?
His win rate was already like extremely high. It was pretty much at 56%.
Was it 56? But look at the sample size, 1.2 million. 1.2 million games in 6.86.
Yeah, he was at 56.01% in 6.85.
Really? So he hasn't risen much, huh?
I just think his applicability is
playing him with Aether Lens feels so cheap.
He's a great hero, and I agree Aether Lens is super good on him.
Strong,
but he's always been like a really high win rate hero because at pretty much every level, it's just like if you have burst nuke damage and you press a button to do it, like the combination of amount of damage plus ease of execute always makes for a hero that can crush of execution.
Pubs. Yeah.
Pudge. And also chasing, because you chase so much. If you can just dedicate the ult
if you can just burst them,
it's just a free kill, and you can back up, which at lower skill levels is definitely way worth it.
Yeah, true.
But I do honestly predict with you that Zeus will be picked more and more applicable because he is really good, honestly, at what he does, and also as someone who dewards, that's really valuable.
It is. It's somebody that can have a free deward. Of course, he can't do it super early game just because he has mana problems, right? Like you're not at 3 minutes roaming around dewarding or anything like that. But eventually,
But if you see a ward go down, you can be like, it's there, and you can run over and deward it.
Yes,
definitely. And I agree with you. I think Aether Lens, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a core item on Zeus from now on because, I mean, the only thing that's limiting him is getting in range. For stuff like Arc Lightning, being able to Arc Lightning
from a mile away.
Have
you played it yet? Have you played Zeus with Aether?
I haven't played Zeus. No, not with
Aether. Dude, it's crazy.
But I know the range on Arc Lightning, and it would be so nice to increase that. So
the really big buff is obviously his W. His I don't know what it's called. His second
his Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt, yeah. Where, dude, it's insane. I honestly do think Aether Lens will probably get debuffed to probably like a plus 150 cast range. Because let's be real, 200 is way too much, and there's going to be some sort of gimmick that'll happen here shortly.
Roland, you're ruining our predictions. We were all going to get into this.
I'm sorry, but I'm just.
We have our own. Remember, we got our own predictions. That was mine, you jerk.
Oh, were you going to say 150?
Because Aether Lens is going to get nerfed. I was saying 175.
And that's what you accused me of doing. That's why you wouldn't tell me, now I'm going to take all your ideas.
No, I'm just... Sorry, it just popped into my mind. I'll stop. But yeah, no, Blue told me to say that it would be nerfed to 150. It was Blue. So you think 175, huh? You think 25 will be the nerf?
I think they're going to start... They're not going to nerf it too hard because it's a new item and they don't want to.
Glimmercape
They don't want people
nerfed.
to drop it like a bad habit, you know.
Yeah, I guess Glimmercape got like nerfed like 5 times before.
I think either that or, to me, if you just add like a small recipe cost, that makes it so much. I just
makes it harder to get.
The fact that you could buy that entire item from the side shop is like obscene. Like it's just too much to me.
Well,
it's too easy.
It's the Vanguard for the support or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you can buy the entire Vanguard at the side shop now because of VIP Booster being added to the side shop.
Only it's a better item.
Yeah.
But in the right hands, obviously.
In the right, like it's a better item. It's an
item that you're not going to drop like 20 minutes later.
It's 100% of the time
and it's
now.
way better than Vanguard. Like, how do you even compare that?
Well, it still gives you tank. It does give you tank.
It's a support.
The Aether Lens.
Vanguard?
It's like your support's Vanguard but
better.
not really.
Way
That's
better.
a horrible comparison to make. Because you can't really compare the two. So, anyway. But it is cool that both of those items, I think those are the only two semi-major items that you can build at the side shop. They took away Ultimate Orb, obviously. I think people have gotten into that.
That one hurts me.
Yeah.
I still am doing that thing where I'm going to the shop. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I don't have to call a courier anymore. No, fuck that. Which I love my stats items. Scotty Sanj, and Yasha are like among my two favorite items. Anyways, before we get off topic, so we've kind of covered our like random thoughts on the patch. Guys, let's get into like what are your guys' main predictions, and I'll start with Wazoo because I think he had a prepared set going into this, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but I would like to talk about like some of my predictions of what I've seen developing and like what heroes I think are going to be up.
Yeah, we're framing it in this way. By the end of 6.86, what are we going to be saying about the patch? This needs to get nerfed. This is really too good. This is the style that's become very common. These are the heroes that are overpowered. These are the heroes that need help. So we're going to frame it like that so that later on down the road when we hit 6.87 and we're wearing our crazy hats and self-driving cars and we're Jetson style floating around in space.
A lot of time's passed.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it feels like between 6.84 and 6.86, it felt like years. But anyways. So that's kind of how we're going to frame it so that later on we can look at our predictions and see how they match up.
All right, I will start. I think you're going to see more of a team fight centric meta. I think you're going to see kind of the melee hero fade out a bit, and heroes like Zeus and other ranged heroes and carries will be big. I think Shadow Fiend's going to be an even bigger mid. I think he's going to be really, really strong with his ult stick now. How the souls blow out and then come back in.
I disagree. I don't think it'll be core. I think that's
with Aghanims?
I think his Aghanims is in my drawer with Walrus Kick, dude.
I think it's a good Aghanims, and I think Walrus Kick is pretty good, but
I
feel like Shadow Fiend's only... I digress. I feel like Shadow Fiend's going to be a strong mid still, no matter what. Just because more stacks to clean up, more all that, like he can stack closer to the mid lane, all that stuff.
Oh, that new camp, by the way, that new hard camp, extremely hard to stack.
Yeah, well... It's just a timing.
Yeah, it is just a timing, but I'm just there. Like generally, there are some camps that are like, I can pull this anywhere from 53 to 56 and it'll stack. Like
that's
camp,
like 56 or 7, right?
It depends on direction. I don't think it's stackable from the direction that goes toward the.
But
river.
Anyway, you figure out the timing and like naturally he has that stack that he can hit now. So I feel like those type of heroes will still be strong. But I feel like it'll kind of refixate back on agility-based ranged heroes. I think Wind Ranger maybe hasn't even seen her heyday. I think she'll be stronger in this patch as she ever was. Maybe Storm will be back for a little bit.
Well, Dragonlance and her...
there's just
her
all this
ultimate,
range shit. Sniper, I feel like he may even be back.
He has 1,080 range, by the way. 1,080 range when he has a Dragonlance and all 4 in range.
So, and I also think you're going to see a resurgence of heroes like Tidehunter and Sand King and other team fight centric heroes because the Wombo combo is going to be interesting.
Are you just going to say all 111 and then just hope
that's all I'm going to say. Emphasis on taking
participate in team fights.
Rosh is not going to be as big of a goal at times because people are just going to want to take and push in and take towers because this will be the type of meta that you lose your first 3 towers and you feel like you can't come back. Mm-hmm. That's my... That is it in a nutshell, I guess.
All right, I like that. You kind of touched on what the general play style is going to be like. You picked up some heroes. I feel like we got something to work with here. We have Tidehunter, Sand King.
Yeah, baby. I thought about it.
Turn.
Long into the deep philosophical night.
I think personally, I'm going to be trying to play some more Sand King. But for as far as my predictions. And just to talk to your points, I think Shadow Fiend will be around, but I don't think we're going to see him nearly as much as we did. He's not going to be first pick, first ban material. I don't think he will. I think he'll still be a good hero, and he'll be back to being like a situational hero or a hero you might pick 3rd or 4th in a draft. but I don't see him being that kind of first pick, first ban, crazy good material in terms of both win rate in pubs and in pro matches. I do agree with you on the team fight oriented heroes that could be either your 3s or 4s. I feel like this whole patch was built around the 3 or the 4 spot. Because you look at the off lane being able to farm a little bit more. You look at those heroes like Tidehunter given an Ags, which is very interesting Ags. I don't know. I think it's one of those that like isn't as bad as Walrus Kick, but it's not much better. I don't know. I feel like still people still got to play around with that. I think heroes like Tinker have gotten some really cool buffs, and the Aether Lens on Tinker is really cool. Being able to spam out the laser in lane has gotten a little bit easier, so I hope to see more of him. I don't expect to. I'll kind of hedge my bets with that one, but I will go all in on the jungler heroes that are traditional. I will say people are going to pick a hell of a lot more Chen. People are going to pick a hell of a lot more Enchantress. People are going to pick... I don't think people are going to pick as much Enigma, but they'll definitely pick a lot of... pick it more than they did in the past. And I think we'll also see some more Nature's Prophet. I feel like they've been buffing him.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think the last 3 patches, they've been buffing him like crazy. So I feel like we're going to see a return in terms of the pro meta to those pusher jungling into push strat heroes. I mean, of course, Nature's Prophet was played more in the off lane, but he can always go back to the jungle and farm up pretty quickly. So him, and I also feel like the 5-man push lineups are going to get overwhelming this patch. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity with all the buffs they've given to the creeps in general, the jungle creeps, the ancient creeps. That like nuke that they gave to the Black Dragon is kind of crazy. Like
the fire comes out of his mouth.
Yes, and it does
cool.
85 damage a second for 10 seconds.
850.
Yeah, 850 magic damage, and it's on like a 10-second cooldown or something. Like it's just crazy.
Makes Lifestealer stronger indirectly.
Yeah, it's a 10-second cooldown, 100 mana cost, and you can just throw that in a 300 AoE. It's like a mini Jakiro ult, so it's so cool. I feel like those heroes that push really well are going to make a return. Shadow Shaman, I feel like, is going to be first pick, first ban material. That's who I'm going to go out on a limb and say. I'm saying Shadow Shaman is going to be the hero of the patch in terms of like top priority pick ban rate. He's going to be one of the top, probably I'd say top 5, just because the Aether Lens gives so much to him, the jungle gives so much to him.
And that shackle with the Aether lens, like the range.
It's like this is the time. This is the time of the greedy support, and I feel like he perfectly embodies that. So I'd say Shadow Shaman and Silencer are my 2 like greedy supports that are gonna have a significant impact on the pubs and pros.
Yeah. Okay, well, my predictions: hero coming back from the dead, but not going to be your top pick or ban, but we're going to see more of, is going to be Shadow Demon. In my opinion, could be. I'm saying this with all the confidence in the world, but I think if Shadow Demon can manage to get an Aether Lens, Shadow Demon can do some really cool saves, can do some really cool things, and would be a really cool niche pick for pro heroes. I'm just going to say he's going to come back from the dead. I'm not saying he's going to be top pick or anything like that. I think that there have been some reworks to him that can make him a hero that is picked again. Where PPD is playing Shadow Demon all of a sudden again and doing some like the craziest disruptions you've ever seen. But I think that's what that was called when you put the dude in the orb.
He was popular quite a bit ago.
Yeah, I mean, he was popular, but he was never like, he probably reached a point where he was like pretty high on...
TI3 was very popular.
He was pretty high on pick ban, but I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do see the resurgence of Shadow Demon coming in pro play, which will then inspire more in pubs. Right now, it shows no signs of that as far as Dota buff goes, as Shadow Demon, but I just think, God, that hero can make such huge plays, and that's what the pros need. Add an item that gives him more range, like, you know, like...
As you're clearing off your car with your hockey stick. So those pros need plays, man, so I guess I'll just go sell them some.
I think what we're going to start seeing top ban, top pick, is as far as supports go, are going to be Dazzle and Omni Knight. I think those are going to be bans for sure.
Omni Knight, huh?
Omni Knight for sure. Omni Knight got so much fucking stronger. Are you kidding me? Omni Knight for one has a built-in farming mechanic. So you can leave him alone for a second, and he can get that Aether Lens pretty quickly. And an Aether Lens Omni Knight is insane. His whole problem was his cast point, which they fixed in 6.85. They lowered his cast point for his heal, so he got a buff last patch, and then he just got a buff this patch, directly to, or indirectly because of Aether Lens, where he can have a quick cast point and cast it from a million miles away. And then also Dazzle, just because...
So he's in like Cabo or something, like
heal
bombing guys on the field of Dota 2.
Dazzle already had humongous range. Why not have more? That's always been people's like opinions with Dota heroes. Like, Doom has a thing that burns the ground. Why not have more? Buys Radiance. Doom has a thing that gets gold. Why not have more? Buy Midas. Like, that's like what you do with all heroes. Like, Alchemist gets tons of gold. Get something that gets him even more tons of gold. You know what I mean?
People get so mad about the
like,
Midas on Alchemist. You're not supposed to build Midas on it.
If people are going to get mad about the Arc Warden Midas. I think that will definitely get nerfed. Specifically, Midas and Necro will get nerfed on Arc Warden. I don't care what his win rate is. It's throwing games and it's wrecking games, and that's not what they want.
Better than techies, man.
Techies, I actually have a few thoughts on techies as well, which we won't see techies, but more byways, techies got indirectly buffed with the map changes. A small indirect buff.
Sure.
But he's still not the techies of yore.
So if you had to say one type of like play style would go through
this
meta, what would it be?
I'm gonna call it nuker meta. Okay.
Nuker
meta. Because that's what we're gonna see. We're going to see big spells that do a lot of damage. We're gonna see cannons, basically. We're gonna see people throwing out nukes.
You're seeing that in a way with
big
Invoker
ultis.
And all these other...
Not even so much ultis. I mean, I'm talking about, like, Zeus. Like, we're going to see
Invoker,
a ton of Zeus.
too.
Invoker.
Rise
like,
of Invoker.
Maybe, of course, we're going to see Warlock. Like,
oh, God.
We're going to see
Tide.
nukes. What's going to happen is you're going to see a lot more pipes of insight. You're going to see a lot more casual cloaks. You're going to see a lot more of that because... people are going to start to pay attention to spell resistance.
Interesting. That is very counter to what Wazoo said about the negative armors focus. So that's cool. We'll see who wins out on that. Before we kind of wrap up, I need to address Invoker.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I think he's super strong.
Let's Gregorian chant you in.
Yeah. No, it'd be more like Quas, Wex, Exalt, Quas, Wex, Exalt.
Because like Invoker's so good, he's like a god now. So
Oh God, he
That's our
is.
intro.
I love him.
He's an unholy making of OS Frog who needs to just. God, he just needs to get fucked up.
He's
I
like the
can't
guy that
stand
points at
hero.
the camera, dude.
I feel like a scurrying rat when you're like up in lane running and you're just here. And then you're just like, what the fuck? And then the tornado comes up and picks your ass up, and by the time you've landed, a meteorite's fallen on your head.
He may as well be on like the front page of Vogue or something like that.
Yeah,
like
he is in Vogue.
like
Yes.
Invoker comes back with style, and it's him with like his hair on fire, and he's like sitting on a
The
couch.
magazine wouldn't be
He's
called
got the blue steel.
It wouldn't be called Vogue though. It'd be called Vogue.
Vogue.
Vogue magazine, dude.
Oh God, these dad jokes! I can't handle it. All right. All right. Before you guys drown me out with your meatball stories, I need to tell you the most ridiculous part about Invoker to me, and that to me, I think Blitz defined this as like how you determine whether or not a hero is too good at this point.
Okay.
And sorry, I had to give the wife a stern look. She was baby talking with the dog. Because we're talking serious shit here.
This is my serious Dota time, baby.
Yeah. All right, so I think Blitz defined it as if there's a hero who at literally every stage of the game is extremely strong, that hero is too good. And I feel that way about Invoker at this point. If people play him the way he's meant to be played.
Did Blitz say that about Storm Spirit in 6.83?
I think that's what they were talking about, yeah. When people were addressing that is like Storm in 6.83, Shadow Fiend in 6.85, right? You mean just you had a 300 damage nuke at 75 mana cost, and you could use it 3 times, and then you'd have it, what was a 10-second cooldown on that thing?
14-second, I think.
14-second cooldown. Like, and on top of that, he has some kind of damage steroid where he picks up more damage as he goes. It's just like that's how. So that's how you know that's how people who kind of think about it critically view heroes that are just too damn good, and that's how I feel about Invoker guys who go, Wex and Exort Invoker level 2, they have essentially base 100 damage if they pick the right items, which is like Null Tally, and then they get a couple Tangos and maybe a Fairy Fire. They have 100 base damage using a 40 mana ability called Alacrity, and that shit you can use every
you can use it every 8 seconds or 10
every
12
15
seconds.
Oh, okay. 45 mana every 15 seconds. So you can have 100 base damage every 15 seconds for a duration of 9 seconds. So
you're 6 seconds without it.
Yeah. So 66% of the time you have that ability, essentially. A little less than that, but the fact that you can do that in a lane, that you can dominate in the lane, that you can get a Midas, that you can get ahead, and then the fact that the mid game your spells are incredible. The late game you have 4 int gain for each and every level. It means you could turn into a right clicker if you wanted to. It's just there's too many ways for him to be successful at every stage of the game, and I feel like that's the biggest part of him that has to get nerfed in some way.
I just heard Ursinity cackling off in the distance somewhere.
And Ursinity was like, hopefully Carl and Lone Druid will get buffed, but I doubt Carl will. That was on an episode that we were listening to on the drive back from me getting married.
He's very good now.
That's his own self-loathing there. It's classic East Coast, style.
And they both did get buffed directly and indirectly. But yeah, no, dude, I went from losing every time I tried to play Invoker to I've won every Invoker game of 6.86.
And you didn't even use fucking Alacrity until 35 minutes into the game.
I know, but I got Sunstrike kills.
You still won.
Did you see those Sunstrike kills?
I mean, I saw the.
I got 3, and they were calculated.
I mean, if this were baseball, you'd have a 300 average, so that's not bad,
I thought that last game I played pretty
Huskar
well.
Burn.
I felt like I played pretty well that game.
Huskar's gone. Huskar's gone.
I was the best in the
Huskar's
game.
gone.
Huskar is gone. No, it's the 50%. My first game of Invoker, I was like, I'll throw a Sunstrike on Huskar. They're literally it was like a 1/3 health Huskar. And
You're that nice in your own mind.
I'll do it. I was just I was like, I'll make him run away. I'll make him run away because he was standing there just killing a creep wave, and I killed him, dude. And it was like, oh yeah, he's not completely immune to magic anymore. That's cool.
Well, that's hold on before we give these kind of false notions.
It's 50%.
The reason that works is because it's pure damage. Sunstrike is pure damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So just so you know,
it seems really magical.
I don't want everyone to go well, I'm gonna pick Invoker obviously because of Huskar.
Okay, I'm glad.
Actually,
I didn't know Sunstrike was pure. It seems very like a very magical skill.
Yeah.
To be able to call the sun's rays.
I just learned this maybe 6 or 7 months ago when because I had BKB on someone Sunstrike me. I was like, what? How did that hit me? That's weird. And someone mentioned me, and for some reason I never looked it up because I assumed
you can land it, I guess it's yours. Is the way they look at it.
Pure damage on fucking Invoker.
Well, the sun would do pure damage, dude. There's no magic.
As if he needed more reasons to be good. God damn it.
Yeah, we're looking at...
I feel like no one wanted to play him, even in the professional level.
That was the worst part, dude. I used to play
52%.
I used to play the shit out of him. He's my second or third most played hero.
53%. 52.74% win rate. And
I'm sure we'll see that go
And
up.
Blue, you were saying that was a huge climb from 6.85?
It was at 47% in 6.5.
A big climb. And he is the 4th most popular hero. He already has 1,387,000 games. In 6.86. So he's been played a ton. He's pretty much tied with Shadow Fiend and Wind Ranger, I want to say, because Shadow Fiend's 1.39 and Wind Ranger is 1.43 million. So it's they are basically tied. You see Wind Ranger, Shadow Fiend, and Invoker as much as you see, all of them basically.
Yeah. Now before we wrap this up, I did want to ask you. I did want to have an Arc Warden sit down because I know this guy's been mentioned a few times, and
is this an intervention?
No. It's not. It's not an intervention. We're an open place here. We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge. But I did want to bring it up because you did talk about Arc Warden a lot on the Monday cast, and you talked about a very specific style of play, and I just wanted to see if you've seen any other ways the hero is played. Have you tried him out in the carry lane? I know you mentioned that on the Monday show.
Yeah. So
how do you feel? How does he feel now with some perspective?
once again, my boy Grouty, okay, because I just like turn the stream on, and oftentimes it's like me alone or me and Grouty just in there, and so Grouty will just like, he's a really super awesome guy, and I think he's like around 4K or something like that, so he just like will casually be like, hey, by the way, this is good here, by the way, this is good there, and then I fucking flame him, which is what I'm about to do. No, just joking. He has a really cool build that he started doing, which is Boots of Travel into Divine Rapier, which is really awesome. And
who?
For Arc Warden.
Okay.
And so he says that he says he farms like, safe camps, really safe camps with his main self, and then with the other self, he sends it to pretty much any lane and nukes down towers and nukes down creep waves and gets more gold. And then gets, like a Mask of Madness, then gets more gold, then gets another Divine Rapier and gets more gold, while never, ever trying to gain experience necessarily, or too much experience, on his main self, but instead posing a huge threat. Also, BKB is an incredible item on Arc Warden. Never, ever use your BKB unless you have to on your main self, because it'll stay at 10 charges every time you make a double. And you can reuse it. And that double
uses it, yeah.
Yeah, and that double will use it every 55 seconds. He has BKB and 14 seconds of uninterrupted Divine Rapier right-click. So with 100% evasion, 100% magic resistance.
What are you doing with that main hero in the meantime? You're just sitting in the jungle farming?
You're leaving him in your base if it's unsafe outside, because obviously if he dies, you drop the rapiers, and then it all goes away. Or you're like farming like where it's absolutely safe, right? Like, or just like sitting behind like a tier 2 when you still have a tier 1 attack. Like, you play ultra safe with him. Like, basically you play him just enough that he doesn't get abandoned for not getting experience, right? And then you just keep sending
a problem you've often run into.
With techies, but that's why I feel like that maybe should be lifted. If I'm using my double and I'm, maybe I don't want to leave the base. Maybe why can't it be a strategy for me to sit in Fountain, not gather experience? Because I don't need experience. I'm doing 500 damage right click, and I have 100% evasion, 100% magic resistance every 55 seconds for 20 seconds. So there is a 35-second downtime where I'm not hitting you for a ridiculous amount of damage. Paired Daedalus on top of that, my crits are looking something like 1800 on a double. You know what I mean? I think I think the allure of the Necro book being constantly refreshed kind of hid Arc Warden's true ability, which is the fact that he is a right-clicking monster that doesn't have to take any penalty for a bad play. His win rate is incredibly low because he's incredibly complicated. Even Purge says in his go watch the Purge plays, when he gets 12 slotted, he's like, dude, I'm fucking overwhelmed right now, because he has 12 actives he has to use, and then 4 spells. Like, it's really hard. And
he's a new hero, and everyone wants to try out the new hero, and they're gonna flop, and fail at it and move on because the hero is hard. All right, so you've kind of talked about your way of approaching Arc Warden and looking at Grouty's build, and that is definitely interesting. Of course, the main problem that you address being like, where do you actually get experience, which is so funny.
Safely.
But I mean, like, once you have your rapier, you're like, I'm going to go sit in base, or I'm going to go like try and farm like the nearest
hard camp
my base. Yeah.
Like, and then just bring
funny.
like 4 wards with you when you do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I don't know,
even
like,
if it blocks the other camp, like, fuck them.
Yeah, it doesn't
keep the gem
matter.
on. You may as well, right? If you drop the rapier, just may as well drop the gem while you're at it. So
I mean, and that's another thing. The thing is the Tempest isn't, or the double isn't up long enough for gem, so I don't think we'll be seeing gem on Arc Warden, just because it's not up long enough. I mean, your double's only up for 20 seconds. I mean, I guess you could run him around and search for wards, but that's wasting time. He needs to be killing shit. He needs to be getting gold.
Yeah, but I meant more so they don't sneak up on you when you're farming
absolutely.
the jungle.
If there's like a Ricky, like getting the gem and buying like a fucking Shadow Blade and making sure you have a Diffusal Blade in case they smoke you, and then just one Divine Rapier. I don't know exactly like his order, because a Divine Rapier is a really expensive item. You know, it's really hard to get, and you obviously can't go like, I'm gonna play Arc Warden, I'm gonna get a Midas and then a Divine. Well, I take that back. No, you could. No, you could on Arc Warden.
Okay.
Go from Midas to Divine Rapier.
I'm gonna move on the show while we're doing this.
We gotta
Don't try that at home.
You have to do the over/under. The over/under.
Let's do the over/under on what we think the win rate, the pub win rate, will be for Arc Warden by the end of 6.86. Over/under. What do you boys think? Should the over/under be 43%, 42%? What do you guys got? What do you think sounds fair? Higher or lower than that?
Probably like 41 is what I'd say. The
41.
41%.
Okay. But you would take the over on 41.
I would take the over on 41 because here's what's going to happen. We have 1.217 or 1.2 million games on Arc Warden right now. Okay. That is going to taper off because people are going to play him and be like, wow, this is hard not playing this hero again. Like people, it's going to take a week or two and people are going to stop playing him. But the people like Grouty and like other people that have really fallen in love with this hero are going to continue.
Arc Warden pickers.
And then they're going to become filthy good at it. Mm-hmm. And even though his win rate is totally trashed with the pool of games we have right now for 6.86, those people that stay with Arc Warden will get better as Arc Warden and up him to above 41% win rate by the end of 6.86.
Okay, so you're saying it's going to be over 41.
I'm going to say it's over 41%. Yeah.
I will say I'm going to say it's under 41. I'm going to go under on that.
So he'd have to climb so he's at 37.5% right now with 1.201 million games.
Yeah. I think there's a very good chance he could be over 41. I don't see him getting to 43. That's my bet, though.
Mine would be under 44, man. Under 44.
Yeah?
You just do over 41 or
bet. You gotta be over under, baby.
Yeah, are you over 41% win rate or under 41%?
Of course I do under 44, but
yeah,
I'm not the
I would do under 44 probably just because they have a lot of games to make up.
I think it is going to be higher than 41. I'm going to go over.
You think it's going to be higher?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I don't think so.
You don't want to see what, like a 4.5 or a 3.5? You don't want to see a 3.5% increase on him.
I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I don't think it's going to happen.
Will. So you don't think he will rise 3.75% in win rate?
Nope.
Or 3.5%?
Nope. I think people will continue to play him, and people will continue to not know how to play around him. People will continue to not know how to play the hero itself. I feel like the hero has so many, dimensions to him that he just, much like Oracle. Oh Jesus!
Oracle,
much like Oracle, who again is below 41%, is a great hero when in the right hands. And what's different than Oracle is that Arc Warden, to me,
Oracle's 41.08 in 6.86. 41.08%.
Okay.
Over.
Over. That's over.
After how many patches have we had this year?
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to throw that one out there, Roland.
119,000 games, though.
Sometimes the truth hurts when it comes to, to these heroes that you adore.
I don't adore Oracle. I don't get Oracle. I really don't understand how that hero works.
I'm referring to more like wonky heroes that no one understands, but can be effective in the right hands. Those seem to be right up your alley.
Yes. Yes, and, but then again, you say I play heroes that you play. I don't know.
Like you eventually move your way into them, and it's like, wow, this hero's really good. I'm like, yeah, he's really good. It's my hero, baby.
I don't think Pit Lord's going to be the hero that's like the easy to play hero either.
No,
I think they do.
I can't wait for Pit Lord though.
Yeah. Well, you know how he works,
Pit
right?
Lord's more of a do shit hero than Arc Warden. To me, Arc Warden is like if I am played effectively, I'm going to still be fucking useless for the first 10 minutes of the game, and even after that, I just need another 20 more minutes to become like incredibly relevant. And if we lose by that point, then we're screwed. He can't handle the kind of style that I've been talking about, which has been the push heavy styles. Mm-hmm. He can't handle shamans with these serpent wars, the Chen Zoo army coming at you. I feel like he's not going to be able to withstand that kind of meta, and so I don't think he'll have the time to farm out those rapiers and those manta style necro books and all that shit. So I don't think he's going to get the space. So I don't think he's going to go over 41.
Fair enough, Josh. Roland, I'm gonna let you wrap up if you want to say anything else, and because we got to close out the show. I think we're running a little long.
Sure.
If you have a rebuttal, is what I'm saying to whatever that was.
No, I'm just kind of I'm looking at Dota buff here for 6.86 and just kind of just thinking about things. I'm curious what you think the over/under would be on Chen. I'll give you it right now on for the end of 6.86 Blue. It's at a 47.3%. What do you think that goes up?
I'd say it stays about 47.
And he is the least played hero in 6.86.
Of course he is. Of course.
He's hard. I mean, he's hard to play.
He's hard to micro.
Yeah.
He's hard to micro.
Although I have played him
those
twice.
Two heroes is one hero does shit and the other hero doesn't do shit.
Oh, Visage is coming back too, baby.
And
I guarantee it.
Visage is your second least played hero, and he has a 45.8. Visage, I've played Visage and Chen. I played Visage last night and lost, but I played Visage Drow. And quick question: did Drow's aura affect the birds at one point?
If you use the active ability, it does. That's how it works. So
when she presses presses E, that's when my birds get the boost. Jesus. Yep. Okay, I did not understand that. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a weird thing, but that's...
Okay.
And it's on a really long...
long cooldown, but you can burst the tower down with it if she hits
it. It works for 30 seconds, though, which is a really long time.
Yeah.
So I picked really a 70-second cooldown.
I picked a Visage last night because we had a Drow, and I was like, I'm going to play the Flying Fortress.
Okay, do you guys have anything else to add before we close the show out?
DK
regen.
Oh,
Dragon
man.
Knight.
DK off lane, come on, let's do it. Let's make it happen, guys.
I think this meta is going to be very varied and interesting, more so than the last one. I feel like a lot of good ideas are coming in. I feel like supports are going to make hard plays. So it'll be interesting to dissect it with you boys. Roland, maybe not in the next couple episodes, but he'll be back again to look at the patch at the very least.
Well, I think 6.86 is going to stay for as long as 6.84. Look how long 6.84 was out.
I would like
I
to
bet
talk
it'll be a while.
about Roland, my sweet, sweet, darling brother. And that is that he says there's no way I'll ever make 4K.
I said you simply don't have the skill.
Like that's better? Like that makes him feel better about it?
He thinks he's like Ra's al Ghul or some shit. He's some 2K scrub.
Yeah. And he laughed at first and said, "Wow, fuck you."
Yeah. I will get 4K, dude. If I need to pour myself out to every Alchemist.
Dude, you get your Smurf account, I'll get my Smurf account.
Okay, if I'll say it on
spam those meta heroes.
Thank you.
I'll say it on Tryhard Tuesdays. If Wazoo gets 4K, okay, the hero he gets 4K with, okay, the hero he gets 4K with, I will spam for 12 hours on stream.
All right.
You'll spam for charity?
It's on.
I'll spam that hero for 12 hours.
For charity.
No, I'm not going to say for... I don't have a charity picked out or anything, so I'm not going to say for charity.
Of my choosing.
It's not going to be... We're not going to have very many people in the stream, probably.
I want to, it'll be like you're in stocks. I'm going to make you be in stocks, too, while you play.
So if you happen to be playing, like, some weird hero that happens to be the one that gets you to 4K, that takes you from 39.75 to 4K...
Really? That's how it works?
I will play that hero for 12 hours.
So I can win a game with Winter Wyvern? Like the new Winter Wyvern?
And I'll give you $100.
Okay.
There we go. Now we're talking.
And I will give you $100. We'll show it on stream. Me passing the Benjamin toward you, and you
Party
can
MMR
accept
counts,
it.
right?
Party MMR
no, Party MMR does not count.
What?
Solo?
No.
What,
Solo.
you,
it's
Mr.
solo.
Mr. Oh, hooray! We got 2K. That was Party MMR before.
I know, but we had to get 2K to show the crowd. We had to show people that we were actually improving.
Oh my god!
So we had to know.
I gotta just improve my playstyle, Blue. You'll be there with me every step of the way. I'll give you half those Benjamins.
That's right. That's how it works.
I want to. If you can
an Arcana.
If you can get 4K Party,
this is like that movie Creed with Rocky Balboa, dude. Yeah. And I'm like Creed. I'm like coming back for another boxing match.
And I'll even let you like stand over my shoulder for however much time of that 12 hours you want, and like yell at me and tell me how to play the hero.
Oh, this is
and like make me buy the items. Be like, no, you're buying that wrong. You're doing that wrong.
Does the show have to end? Does he have to stop making promises?
Okay, we're gonna cut it now before like you give me like I will give you my wife and our 3 goats and all of our rows of corn. Like, where do you think we live? But anyway, I'm gonna close out the show, guys. Roland, why do you tell people where they can find you? Because you certainly won't be coming back to this show. So why don't you tell people where they can find you?
You can find me at @Duppy_show, just like you can find everybody else. I also have my own Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at my own Twitter because I'm checking the main Twitter, and that's where most of the business inquiries come in. On Skype. What am I talking about? Like, I'm not giving my Skype out. Sorry. I was like, you can find me on Skype
for DDoS inquiries. Here's our Skype.
You can find me on the 3 different dating websites. No.
What a sloppy fucking. Just finish your goddamn.
I never do the plugs. I tell Denny to do it.
All right, you can find him on Twitter at .p_Roland. Okay, yeah. Anything else, Roland? I've never had any fans before, but like Jesus.
What is .ptv1?
Yeah.
YouTube. .ptv1.
Okay, Blue. Where can people find you?
Find me at MrBlue22 on Twitter, and that's how it's done.
Okay, will you just give the
you can find
plugs?
me, the host of this show, that keeps getting cut off by this this tomfool that came through the door. I'm the Graham Wazoo, the host of the show. Thank you for joining us. You can find me at .p_Wazoo on Twitter. Lots of cool stuff on our website, articles and whatnot at defenseofthepatients.com. Check that out. And .ptv1 for our YouTube, and we get a lot of content up there. Check out our Wednesday show. It's a pro-centric focused cast by Korean Barbecue and Woodshrew.
Do you wanna be a wannabe? Yeah. Do you wanna be a wannabe Wednesday?
All right.
Is this the song you're gonna pitch to them?
Yeah, it was.
Do it on their show. Like, we never got any cool like.
Do you wanna be a wannabe
I want like the
Wednesday?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or something for Tryhard Tuesdays, but so that's pretty much all. We'll have some interesting stuff coming up. We have an interesting Christmas project planned with a very interesting member of the community, but that is a secret until it comes out. So be looking forward to that. Happy holidays, everybody. Stay classy, my friends, and keep trying hard.
Everything can work.